The sky is falling for the real estate market in Southern California, right? Well, according to some resources, you'd think so, but we're going to run through some actual data for April of 2022. In this wrap-up, we're going to explain exactly what happened to inventory, median home price, and where things are headed going forward when we take a look at leading indicators. Is the Southern California housing market in trouble? We're going to let you know. Hey there. Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates. We've been helping buyers and sellers make the best decisions in this crazy market. We do these updates every 2 weeks, and we're not here just to read the news to you. That drives me crazy. Some YouTubers just pull up a bunch of articles from a few different places and predict where the housing market is. We're going to give you instant data. We've just pulled this from the multiple listing service. We're getting it from our resources. And now we're also including the Altos Research reports. And this is very, very cool stuff that you can subscribe to as well. One important thing to remember about the April 2022 data for the housing market for Southern California, this includes the war in Ukraine. This includes interest rates at 5% or above. So this is our first look at how those things are affecting the real estate market in Southern California. So if you're ready to dive into the Southern California housing market numbers for Orange County, LA, San Diego, San Bernardino, Ventura, and Riverside, hit that like button and let's get started. Let's dive into the data. We got a lot of ground to cover to see if the Southern California market is in trouble, like we're hearing in the national news. They make it sound like everything's falling apart right now, but we're going to look at actual data for Southern California, and we're going to look at very current data, more current than those articles you're reading even today, because they're using older data. We are going to look at leading indicators, and we're going to put those into context. So let's start with Orange County. We are going to start here with our usual. We'll get the sold and new listings out of the way, and we can see, like we were talking about last month, talking about a bird. Doesn't look like a bird in Orange County. It looks pretty lopsided, but you can see the interesting thing is that while contracts have gone down year over year, which we keep hearing about these year over year numbers, we can see that historically last year was a crazy year all across Southern California. You really shouldn't be using year over year, nor should you use 2020. I could compare 2022 to 2020 and say, oh my gosh, look at this. We're almost double 2020 numbers. Well, yeah, in April of 2020, we were in the midst of COVID and hadn't figured out how to do real estate yet, but we very quickly did. So very important point that in Orange County, it is absolutely not slowing yet. And you can see when we put the new listings in that it is absolutely a crazy tight seller's market. You will see for single family that Orange County is one of the tightest and hottest markets right now. Here we go. We can look at LA County and looks pretty consistent. While the number of properties that's gone under contract is lower than 2018 and 2019, you can also attribute that to the fact that inventory is down. Look at where the number of new listings are as compared to where they were in 2018, 2019. We're going to dive in. I'm going to use Altos reports, which is we have new access for you, our subscribers. We're going to share a link so you can subscribe to those as well. We're going to show you the health of these markets above and beyond this data that we're sharing here. So Los Angeles, again, 2020 record low, 2021 record high, 2022 more of a normal market for pending sales and closings, but definitely down when it comes to new listings. And Riverside, again, down year over year, 2021 a crazy record number, but definitely a record compared to 2020 and not that far off of 2018 and 2019. If I came up to you and said, oh my gosh, real estate sales have dropped to 2018 or 2019 levels, would you panic? Wasn't like those were crazy slow times, but that's where we are. Now, of course, we'll keep tracking to see if the number of properties going under contract continues to fall. And we'll also have to see if inventory goes up, if we get more new listings. But right now, this is a whole lot of nothing that we're hearing in the news. Maybe at a national level, there's certain areas that have issues, but Southern California moving along strong. We are down in San Bernardino, and the number of properties that have gone under contract, lower than 2018, lower than 2019, but not that far off, less than 10% off when we look at this. And if you compare to 2018, if you look at the number of properties under contract versus number of new listings, it is a big difference. We still have more of a seller's market today in 2022, even with the slight drop in the number of pending sales. Ventura has dropped as well, and we can see that it is lower than it was in 2018 and definitely lower than 2019. Ventura has been marching to its own drum. So if you've been watching these videos, you hear me say that, and you've seen it in the data. I thought early on that Ventura was going to be a bellwether of things to come, but it continues to move at its own pace. So the fact that pending sales are down in Ventura doesn't really matter, quite frankly. We'll look at some other data that shows you why this isn't as alarming as it may seem. In San Diego, definitely been a red hot market, and we can see, yes, we're down in pending sales below 2018, 2019 levels, not terribly below. But when you compare the number of new listings, you can see that it's still a tight seller's market. So we are seeing a slight drop in pending sales for most of Southern California counties, but this is slight. We're talking 10% or less in a drop in the number of properties under contract. The other thing to remember is we've had record low inventory. So this could also be the effect of that record low inventory, making it tougher for buyers to lock properties up. And in the case of Orange County, we haven't dropped in pending sales, and we're up as compared to 2018, 2019. So definitely need to continue to track the market. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you get these updates. But now let's dive into more data that helps flesh out the complete picture. Let's take a quick run through the multifamily data for Southern California, one of the only places you'll get it. And there's a quick trend I noticed, and we'll run through and you'll see, but the sales in 2022 aren't all that different. The number of properties going under contract aren't that different from 2018. Of course, year over year, the numbers look skewed. We can see that the numbers were up for 2021 for all the Southern California counties, but we are pretty much at 2018 levels as compared to 2022 when it comes to the number of properties that are going under contract. Los Angeles, it actually looks similar in many respects. Number of new listings is slightly down as compared to 2018, but it is very similar to that market back then. And Riverside, a similar thing, very similar to 2018. Back in 2018, there's actually less inventory, but now in 2020, it is more of a balanced market, but similar number of properties going under contract as 2018. Same thing, San Bernardino, not too far off, much less available inventory, so definitely a seller's market in San Bernardino. Ventura, not many sales, but somewhat similar to 2018, 2020, 2019, just not that many sales. And San Diego is another hot market. This actually is the one exception where San Diego has more pending sales in 2022 than 2018. It actually matches the record high 2021. So San Diego, definitely a very hot market for multifamily. Now, one interesting thing to throw in here, as interest rates start to go up, cap rates are going to have to start to go up. And they aren't directly related. In fact, the cap rate is a function of the amount of income a property generates versus the expenses and doesn't include the mortgage. The reason they're related is as interest rates start to go up and you can get a better return elsewhere, suddenly the 3% return or the 2% return you were getting in real estate doesn't look as good. So cap rates are going to have to go up. So that's an important point. If you haven't tuned out multifamily, you're missing out on this big point. We are going to start to see cap rates go up as interest rates go up. And I'm going to do more content on that. Now it's time for median home price. And why do we keep hitting on median home price? Well, this is a leading indicator as well. If we start to see a dip in the median home price at an atypical time, that's a problem. And notice I said atypical time because you can see on this chart that median home price goes up and down depending on what time of year it is anyway. Don't fall for it. When you see in other sources on YouTube or in the news that suddenly the median home price has dropped, it may be a time of year where it's supposed to drop. And this is a time of year where it's not supposed to drop, and in fact has not dropped. It's actually increased at even higher levels. So we're seeing a rapid increase. In Orange County, we are now well over 1 million. We're at 1.1. LA, 900,000 for the median home price. And Riverside is 602,500. The percentage of increase year over year, 22.2% year over year for Orange County, 12.6 for LA, and Riverside's 20. So what we can see here is that we're starting to see a slowdown in the increase in median home price year over year in LA County. It's still 12.6%, but it has been closer to that 20% mark. OC Riverside, they're still at the 20% mark. So we're not yet seeing a slowdown in the median home price increase. We need to. A market can't continue to go up like this, and we'll keep tracking it. It has to level off at some point, but right now we're still going up. And the other 3 counties, lo and behold, what do we see? We see the same thing, a dramatic increase. All of Southern California in April, while we had the war in Ukraine, while we had interest rates at 5% or higher, the median home price continued to go up in SoCal. So we can see Ventura is up 12.8% year over year, San Bernardino 19.3%, San Diego 21.2% year over year. So we are seeing a slowing. Ventura also was at closer to 20%, but that's now 12.8%. It's increased dramatically for April in every single county in Southern California. Of course, subscribe to this channel so you can see what happens next month and the months after for median home price in Southern California. New this month and going forward, we're very excited to have the reports from Altos Research. This is up to the minute data. This is from Tuesday, May 3rd. So this is brand new data for the housing market. You can sign up. We have a link below. You can get every single one of these reports, and you can dive into any city or zip code across the nation. So make sure you check that out in the link below. We're going to bring more content related to this. We're going to run through this real fast. This covers so much data, but we're going to look at a few things. So this is for Orange County. It shows that it's a strong seller's market. They use their market action index. You can see last month it was a little more solid, but it's 92. So 92 versus 94, not a big change. The other thing we're going to look at is inventory. Talk about a leading indicator. So you can see that inventory, this covers 3 years here, that year over year, inventory is down. So what that means in Orange County is that we're not seeing a shift yet where inventory is increasing, which would lead us to believe that the market is slowing. The other important number to look at, and again, subscribe to this so you get it, would be the median days on market. It's gone up and down, but you can see that it's at 14. So it's a very low level. We're not seeing a dramatic increase in days on market. So those are 2 very important leading indicators. So let's run through some of the other counties as well. These are county-wide reports that we have here. So again, inventory, year over year, it is down. And days on market, the median days on market, that's what's important to look at, is basically showing you that it's at a level of 21, hasn't increased, and it's a strong seller's market. Let's keep going. Riverside, got a lot of ground to cover. About the same as last month for the seller's market. We can see that the median days on market is low at 14, and oh, no surprise, inventory is low. It's about the same level as it was last year. San Bernardino, we can see seller's market, just like last month. We see the median days on market is level 21. It was a little bit lower in March, but still at a very low level. And inventory is about the same year over year. So again, leading indicators. So far, the market isn't changing from an inventory standpoint. Ventura, still a seller's market, about the same as last month. Median days on market is consistent. Inventory is down. So this inventory isn't just new listings. This is the level of inventory on the market. That's what's important to know here. San Diego is an extreme seller's market. It's at 100%, doesn't get much more solid. Median days on market is 7, and inventory is at a record low, hence the crazy seller's market. So again, this data I've just shown you, you can subscribe. This is brand new data. This is showing you in real time what is going on with the levels of inventory and the days on market. In looking at the most recent real estate data, it doesn't look like the sky is falling in the real estate market in Southern California, but we do have some headwinds. Obviously, we still have the war in Ukraine, disrupting supply lines and creating uncertainty. In China, they have their zero COVID policy and their shutdowns there. Potentially, they could disrupt the supply chains as well. We have inflation rearing its ugly head, and the Fed fund rate is going to be increased 0.5%, it looks like, here in the next few weeks. And we are going to see rates continue to go up, it looks like, at this point in time. So make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you can see just where the numbers go for Southern California, because all real estate's local. While we are going to hear about markets slowing in various spots throughout the country, it's important that you understand what's happening locally. Unfortunately, what may happen with the Fed fund fund rate. The increases may have to continue to get inflation under control, and it'll be like spraying weed killer all across your garden. It may kill a few areas. It may be too much tamping down in certain spots in the country, and they may see a dramatic drop in the sales of homes. But in spots that are inventory constrained, like Southern California, it shouldn't have as much of an effect. So let us know in the comments below where you think the market is and where you think the market's headed. And make sure you subscribe to those Altos reports that we mentioned so you get up-to-the-minute data. Plus, you'll be subscribed to our free weekly email newsletter where we cover topics for investors, buyers, sellers, tenants, and landlords. And don't miss this playlist so you see what's going on in the Southern California housing market. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates, and we want to hear from you.